All right, hello, welcome back to the stream. Good to see everybody. Yeah, today we're going to be continuing to work on the Lowrider Spider boss. So there's a lot of art to do still with this. Probably we'll do some of that in the stream today. Maybe we'll start with that. And then, of course, just polishing up the actual boss fight experience as well. Then, of course, the boss needs to be integrated into the game so that he shows up at wave 20 as well. So, yeah, there's quite a bit of work to do still, but that's what we're going to be doing. So, yeah, before I get into it, I want to mention that, of course, I've got my Udemy courses available for purchase. So if you want to financially support the channel and learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, check out the links in the description below. I've got a number of Udemy courses, so check those out if you're interested. Of course, you can also wishlist Gunforged. You can sign up for my email newsletter at firebelly.com, where I'm sending out weekly progress updates, or try to send out weekly progress updates anyway. So I'll actually be sending one of those out today. And I think that's it. So with all that out of the way, we'll get started. So hello, Luca. Welcome back to the stream. Always good to see you. Hello, Linus. Welcome, welcome. Emerson. Hello. Palaris. Hopefully I said that correctly. Welcome. Hello, Rin. I'm doing well. How about you? Okay, so with all of that, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to open up my A-Sprite, and let's go ahead and get right into this. So I think I want to start adding detail to this, because I think the shape is pretty good. So let's see what we can do about that. So I think it would be fun to make this like a blue color here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I mentioned previously that how do I open this? Oh, there we go. So I mentioned previously that, so all of these parts are individual just to sort of map out the shapes. But now that the shapes are generally in place, I think what I want to do is duplicate this group here and then merge it together. Whoops, not that. Am I not allowed to do that? Let's do this. There we go. Okay, so now I've preserved all of my individual body shapes, but I've also flattened everything out. So that way I can actually start drawing or shaping this up properly. So I think the first thing I want to do is, let me go, I want to pull up the same references that we did before. So we were kind of looking at this before for the Chevy Impala lowriders. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of wing it a little bit here in terms of making this look less blocky. So I'm going to kind of add a little bit more rounding to it. Oops. That looks pretty good. Really enjoying your 2D Survivors course on Udemy. I'm hoping I can realize the game I have in mind. Godot seems to be what I'm looking for. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that, Eric. Very cool. Hello, Oddest Eagle. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Vishal. I was missing the streams for the last couple days. Something wrong with YouTube notifications. Oh, interesting. Well, you're here now. Everything's great. W stream. Thank you. We're all here. We're having a good time. So yeah, I'm just kind of I'm just gonna kind of wing this a little bit, like I said. Make it a little bit rounder over there. Because there needs to be... Maybe that's too round. Wonder if I'd be better off doing something else here. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a shape there, but I don't know exactly how to convey that shape properly. Let's just start with, okay, hold on. Okay, that looks better, I think. It looks like it's being angled just a little bit down. Which I think is good, a good shape change here. I mean, this car is actually relatively straight line, so I think I just need to find a way to capture that little bit of roundness that it has. And even just doing something as simple as rounding this off here, like that would help quite a bit. And then here, maybe we make this a little bit more round. I guess the tail end kind of needs to be a little bit pointier, right? So I think what I need to do is somehow angle this up more. And then angle, oh, I probably need to angle this down, right? That might be too much of an angle, but it's getting there. That looks better, but then I need to do the same over here. Okay, all right. Does the angle, maybe the angle needs to happen at the same spot so that it aligns properly. No, maybe not. Okay, that looks pretty decent. Okay. You were certainly getting there. Maybe if I extend this out a little bit more. Okay, wait a minute. We're getting there. It almost looks proper. Oh, so close. What happens if I... I think maybe this needs to be thicker down here, that's all. Maybe I don't even need to angle that part. You know what? Maybe that works. Maybe that works. Yeah, I think that looks better. So we're getting something that's more in the shape of kind of what I'm looking for. Honestly, I might maybe even extend this out even more. I'm not sure if that's going to be a little bit too overboard, but you know what? That actually, I think that actually looks fine. I wonder if I should do the same for the front here. Just extend this out like a pixel. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Let me change this canvas size here. Let's do 60 pixels, just so that I have some more room to work with. Halfway through your Survivor's course, and the amount of concepts you teach is astounding. I've learned so much. Thank you. You're welcome, Chad. That's a Chad comment right there. To make a cheesy joke that I'm sure you hear all the time. But yeah, thank you. I very much appreciate that. I'm glad that you're getting a lot of value out of the course. Hello, and Woo. I'm doing great. How are you doing? Good morning, Daily Shadow. Welcome to the stream. Anyone doing anything interesting today? It's kind of a Monday, right? Yeah, it's Monday. Any of you at work or chilling before your shift or something? Okay, I want to start adding some color just so that I can get moving with that. So I'm gonna be very paranoid about keeping copies of my work as I go. But I definitely want to do like a blue color for the Impala here. Well, it's not an Impala. For copyright reasons, it's not a Chevy Impala. It is a generic lowrider. I might, maybe I'll use actually a purple, maybe blue and purple. Yeah, I think that's going to look cool. And then this highlight here. Okay, this is already looking pretty good, I think. We're getting there. It's very, very close. Okay, now for the car door, I'm just going to try, maybe I'll do a blue instead. But we'll do one thing at a time here. That's looking pretty good. We'll add the finer details in a little bit here. I just want to get this looking as it should. That's cool. I wonder, that probably needs to be a little bit more rounded, I would think. How can I do that? Like that? There we go. That looks much better. Okay. And then this one probably doesn't need to be up like that. It can probably be like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks so much better. Okay. I don't know if this purple is working on this side. Maybe it is. I don't know. I have to figure out what I'm doing with all those colors there. But in terms of the windshield here, let's make this like a gray. And then we'll do the purple here for that bottom connector part. Let's do a gray here. Honestly, I might even do... Oh, that's not good, is it? Did I mess this up? that windshield too big? That windshield might be too big. Aw, shucks. That might be too big. I'm just realizing now that it's kind of a little bit disproportionate. That looks a little bit better, I think. Does it? Wait a minute. Just gonna have to fumble my way through this for a second. No, I think that looks better. Okay. Okay. I think it still looks a little bit off, but I think I can deal with that. I think I can deal with that. Don't want to go overboard on like the details here. Okay, I think that's fine. Working now, but other teams putting out fires. Oh, that's unfortunate. Bad Monday morning for them. Did you have those colors before, or you just work on the general shape? Did you have those colors before to just work on the general shape? Oh, yeah. So you're talking about these colors? Yeah. So when I'm working on a particularly difficult piece of art, because I'm not an artist, so I have to like work through things very deliberately. So when I'm working on the shape, I just use colors that are distinct from each other to identify the different pieces of the thing. So these colors are basically just nonsensical. They don't really match, or they're not thematically cohesive, but it's so that I have an easier time identifying, okay, like these are the body segments, and this is the door, and this is the windshield. It's just my way of getting things all delineated. And then when I move into the actual colors, you can see how everything starts to blend together because I'm using the same colors. And so it's just an iterative process, really. But yeah, that's why I'm using those colors. Working right now, too. I'm a software engineer. That's why I'm not talking much in the chat, but I'm here listening to the stream. Cool. Yeah. I know that what it's like Monday morning, software engineer. You just got to figure out what meetings you're going to and work on whatever task for the day. Hello, Dragon Apple. Welcome, welcome. Too steep of an angle, maybe 2 pixel line. Yeah, I think, well, I don't know. The angle is pretty steep, but I think that's probably okay. We'll see. I still have to add the spider into it, so we'll see. But it still looks so cool. Thank you. All right. So we're getting to the point where we're getting some details in here. Now for the seat here, I'm going to change some things around for this seat. That color's not going to work. So we can do something like that for the interior, maybe. That color's not going to work. I wonder if these colors are fine. These colors are probably okay. Why is my... Oh, I chose the wrong tool, that's why. So I'm not going to add much detail here because that's where the spider is going to go. So I don't need to worry about that too much. So there's a couple of places where that needs more detail. Not just a couple, but quite a few places. I wonder if the door would be better suited with the light blue here. That's probably better. Yeah, that's probably better. Okay. So let's take a look at our inspiration here. So there's a bunch of little details in here that I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to duplicate them. We could add like a stripe down the side, maybe. I wonder what that would look like if I were to do that. So I'm gonna duplicate this yet again. And if I were to just add a stripe or something, is that gonna be... That may not be a good enough color. Could do like a yellow stripe, perhaps. Or go all in on like the, what is it called? Like the vaporwave aesthetic and just do blues and purples. I'm just gonna doodle with this for a second here. That kind of, I mean, I guess that kind of looks cool. The problem is that there's not a whole lot of contrast. I could move the bar down. I mean, that's kind of cool, I suppose. I don't even know. Maybe I don't even need that handle anymore. I'm realizing now that this door panel is kind of not situated properly compared to the sort of driver. That's a little bit better, I suppose. I might need to move this whole windshield down though. If I just move it by 1 pixel, is that gonna look too awkward? And then maybe if I move this bit down as well to bring it more in line with the door. Yeah, I think that looks better. Hopefully I didn't cause any egregious errors there, but we're just going to iterate. We're just going to keep making minor tweaks until I think it's got something good. When you make sprites, do you stick to the power of 2 dimensions? Yeah, you mean like when well, not always. I mean, generally I'll start with that, but this canvas size is 60 by 40. But in terms of like tile size, yeah. So like, I think Gunforged tile size is 32 by 32. So I kind of design everything around that general size, but some sprites are going to be larger, some sprites are going to be shorter. I don't like dogmatically stick to a sprite size, but I sort of stick with like a power of 2 as like the base like scale around which everything is designed. And I don't know. And of course, when you want to do the screen sizes, sticking to a power of 2 is important as well. What's up, Riz Lord? We got the Riz Lord in the chat. The new boss is a car. Well, not just a car, it's the lowrider spider. So it's going to be a spider driving this lowrider vehicle, which I just thought of something. Ooh, yeah, I bet if I did this. Ooh, I bet if I did this. Oh, yeah. Okay, so something like that. No, I think it needs to be like 1 more pixel over. Oh, I'm so close. Anyway. Is it fine to always repeat get tree, get first node and group player when wanting to get the player, or is there a Godot way to abstract that call? I think the only way you'd want to perhaps change that is to create an auto load node with like utilities inside of it. And then in that auto load node, you could have like a get player method that contains that line. But yeah, I mean, the main thing there is like the magic string, right? If you were to somehow, or for some reason, rename the player group, then you'd have to go through and change it all everywhere. So if you're interested in not repeating yourself, I would probably create like a utilities auto load that just contains a bunch of functions. And one of those functions could be a get player function that then runs that line of code. So that's how I'd do it. That would be my suggestion. Your Udemy courses look stunning and promising. Thank you. Got to buy it on the next sale. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Keep making tutorials. I will. I have, for those of you that are unaware, I have a pixel art quasi tutorial thing. It's a pixel art tips video coming in a couple days on the 30th. So the day before Halloween. And because I'm not an artist, the way that I approach the video is I give you the tips that I learned that accelerated my ability to do pixel art. So this is not me making a video speaking as a pixel artist. This is me making a video speaking as a non-artist who got decent at pixel art. And so I think probably a lot of you are in that boat where you're not a very good artist or you don't have good art skills. So the video is geared toward you. Like, here's a bunch of tips that I learned that dramatically improved my art over a relatively short period of time. And that video is coming out on the 30th. So speaking of tutorial videos, keep an eye out for that one. Like how this is coming along. Thank you, Jesse. Yeah, I'm happy with how it's shaping up too. Like it's getting there, and I'm happy with that. Thank you, Snupbill, so much for the IDR 20,000. I'm a 20,000-aire now. No, thank you so much. That's very generous. I very much appreciate that. Auto loads, not a fan of singletons. Well, I guess in GDScript they're kind of the same thing, right? The auto load and the singleton would be the same thing. I guess you could. Yeah, the problem with making like a standalone singleton is that it doesn't have access to the scene tree, and you need to be able to get access to the scene tree to do like the get first node and group. But I know that you're mostly joking. I'm excited for the pixel art video. I've been grinding away on pixel art for my bigger project. Cool. Yeah, I hope some of those tips. Like I said, there's 5 tips, and I hope at least some of them are helpful for you. And yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think. I took a lot of care because I don't consider myself a pixel artist. I keep saying that, but it's true. And so I took a lot of care in that video to make sure that it's like, this is not a pixel artist telling you these tips. This is a guy who just kind of learned the tips. So pixel art for non-artists is basically what it is. That's too much. I do feel like this whole area needs to be curved a little bit. I'm just not exactly sure how to accomplish that tiny bit of curve that I want it to have. I think this whole thing needs to come down like that. But I just don't know precisely, because I end up with a couple of jaggies here, like an uneven diagonal, which is not ideal. And that just doesn't look right. I think it really does need to be something like this. Maybe I could just manually smooth out these jaggies. Honestly, maybe it's not that bad. I'm going to color these with black so I can see the line easier. Yeah, so I think... Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to play with that some more. I don't want to burn too much time on that though, because there's a ton to do on this art. Okay, so I'm curious. No, okay. All right, let's go back to the reference here and let's take a look. So yeah, so they often have these stripes, so I kind of got a stripe. I'm not sure if I'm happy with the stripe color. Maybe playing around with the colors a little bit. But let's do the grill. The grill is going to be an important piece of the detail here that I think is going to really communicate that this is a vehicle. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to color that in like so. We'll take the darker gray here, and I'm just going to draw some lines. Well, that's not looking good. That's just a muddy mess. Okay. All right, I may have met my match. Got to figure out how to do headlights too with this little space. Let's draw the headlights in red, just so I can get a feel for how that's going. That's still not super visible, is it? Oops. I feel like I need to do something like that, but honestly, that might be okay. Oops. That might be okay, actually. I'm gonna get rid of... There's just not enough room for detail in here, so maybe I should just give up on trying to put in too much detail. These... Yeah, there's not... This is one of the tips in my video, is that you need to have proper contrast between your pixels. And that is something that I do not have right now. And it's making my job difficult. Because I'm trying to add detail, but the problem is the detail gets lost when your contrast is not good enough. Yeah, that's not working. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so that's interesting. So the grill kind of wraps around the front. So I wonder if I can... Let's do that, and let's see if that... Okay, I'm going to get rid of those headlights. I'm not happy at all with how that's working, but I want to do like a grill wrap around here. Let's just do something like that, perhaps. It's going to be a little bit thick, but that's all right. Okay. And now with that grill wrap around, that might be a little bit too thick. All right, that's fine. Maybe we're onto something here. It's a very thick grill. Let's try to make it a little bit thinner. Okay. All right, we're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere now. It's kind of hard to see, though. Let's up the canvas size again so I can see what's going on. I think that this color needs to be darker. Is that working? I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I might make this go all the way around like this. There we go. That's kind of the separation that I was looking for. I wonder if I just add a little bit more shapeliness to it. No, that doesn't look right. We're getting there, though. Might not be a pro pixel artist, but your ideas are fun as hell. Thank you. Appreciate that. How do you create perfect pixel rotations effect in your games? Been searching everywhere, can't seem to find out how. I think it's just you go to your display settings, set the viewport width and height to something small. So I use 640 by 360. And then the stretch mode is just viewport. So the reason is like you just keep the canvas size small. And so when things get rotated, when the renderer kicks in and tries to render those sprites, it has a limited number of pixels with which it can render. And so that's why you get that chunky pixelated look. If you were on the other mode, canvas items, there's essentially more pixels available for rendering. So it ends up being a smooth rotation instead. Hello, Samurai. Hey, that boss looks cool. You should make the car bump would look cool. Yeah, I think so. The bumpers is thick and show dominance over other cars, yeah. How long have you been doing pixel art, if you don't mind me asking? Excuse me. I basically started doing pixel art seriously like right around the start of making this game. Like Gunforged has been in development in some form or another for like over 3 years. And so I would say sometime around that time is when I started making a serious effort to learn pixel art. When Gunforged is released, what I want to do is I want to make a video showing all of the iterations that Gunforged went to over 3 years. And when that video comes out, you'll see what I mean. Like my pixel art was absolutely terrible for the first iterations of Gunforged, but I kept practicing and stuck with it. And now I'm creating the art that you see today, which I think, I still have a lot of room for improvement, but it's miles better, leagues better than what I was doing previously. So I need to get Gunforged finished so I can make that video, because I think that's going to be a fun video. But thank you for helping me solve a small issue. You're welcome. I don't know which issue you're referring to, but I'm glad I could help. Calcipod, are you using anything to emulate a similar effect to incremental builds in Gunforged, or are the compile times not an issue by default? No, I just, whenever I run the game, I just let Godot do whatever build it's gonna do. The build process is very painful sometimes. Sometimes it takes several seconds to start up, which is not ideal, but honestly, that's another reason why I might use GScript for my next game, is just because it's so much quicker. Yeah, there's still some stuff that need to be, I think, addressed with C#, but the Godot devs can only do so much. I think that looks okay. I'm not the best artist, obviously, but I think I just need to add some more shape somehow to this. Because right now, maybe I can... Here's another thing. It's like, could I just get away without adding headlights, you know? Could I just say, oh, this is a car with no headlights, and like no one's gonna notice, you know? I honestly probably could just get away with doing no headlights. As a matter of fact, I might indeed do that. There's something about this that looks slightly weird to me. But maybe I'll stop messing with it for now, because it looks fine. I think that when this is in motion, I don't think most people are going to notice whatever problems I'm noticing here. Like, that's the other thing that's kind of tough, is like sometimes you have to know when it's like the art is good enough, right? It's like you have to know when you're kind of like at your limits and you're like, okay, I'm either going to spend all this time working on this, or I'm going to say it's good and it'll be it. Ooh, I kind of like that purple color. Yeah, well, I'm going to leave that grill like that just for now, because I don't think any additional time is going to necessarily help me out there. But what I am going to do is I am going to add a little racing stripe here. And maybe like a hairline racing stripe on either side. That's probably too much. So I'll just do that. Kind of round off those corners there so it doesn't look so boxy. Now, I might have gone overboard on that rounding. The other tricky thing is, like, I don't know what this is going to look like with an outline, so let's put an outline on it. The outline gives me a much clearer idea of what the shape is looking like. Yeah, there's something awkward. There's something awkward about the grill still. Maybe I'll keep the outline in place. Well, let's do this. Let's duplicate that again. I'll put the outline in place and then let's figure out what's going on. Maybe it's this pixel. Let's see. Oh, where'd my preview go? We'll figure it out. I might be crazy, but starting a task from VS Code that includes a build and play seems faster than Godot doing it. It might be. It's okay. It's not that terrible. I've been using MS Paint even now, but I'm sure you'll improve one way or another without noticing. Yeah, I think that's right. Sunken headlights hidden by the grill. It checks out. Yeah. My code is 100% C#. Yeah, mine is too. Should I feel bad about using GDScript for my project? Not at all. I think that if you like GDScript, you should absolutely use it. That's a mood. Spend hours chasing a single pixel only to realize you're the only one who sees a difference. Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe that's what's happening here. I do think that I can make some shape improvements, but there's something awkward about the grill here that I'm not totally sure about. I think that the angles are different. I think that's my main problem. So I think I need to fix the angles. bigger headlights exaggerated. That's an option too, yeah. Should I try to stick to GDScript? I made a few small games with it, but I still feel better C# over it so far. I mean, I think it really comes down to use whatever you're comfortable with, whatever makes you more productive. If you feel more productive and that you get a better handle on your game when you're using C#, then I would encourage you to use C#. Otherwise, if you think GDScript is better in terms of just the ease of development, then go with that. I mean, you do have to be aware of some limitations with C#, like there are no web builds, so that's a consideration. But if you're just trying to publish to desktop platforms, I would say use whatever you think works best for you. Yeah, you guys got it. I think that maybe the problem here this is the same grade as the, like if I were to take this, oops, did I accidentally delete something? If I were to take this line here, put it up there, and this line here, put it up there. These are the same line. Yeah, so those are exactly matched, but there's something about it that looks like they're not. Is it this single pixel here that's throwing everything off? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna leave the outline in place though. Maybe if I use this for my outline instead. Now all of a sudden that looks better. I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll just leave it. Yeah, I'll just leave it. Figure out what to do with that later. We will figure out what to do with that later. Now, I still want to figure out this rear section. Wait, did I just make it better? Wait a minute. Did I just make that better? Is that better? Holy moly, I might have made it better. Yeah, I think that looks better. Nice. Maybe this part I don't know. I don't want to mess with it too much. That's probably okay. Let's fill in some more of this detail here. Make some of that a little bit more rounded. Huh. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I think generally speaking, I think that looks fine. I am going to add a little bit of a black outline around the windshield because it's sticking out. And so having the black outline there helps separate it. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, maybe I don't even want to... Maybe I'll just switch to using that purple there. This, I wonder if this should be a darker color. Or I could use some kind of green maybe. Ooh, maybe... No, maybe not. I like that better, I think. Use a darker purple instead. Okay. I like that. Yeah, I think this is looking, it's getting there. I think it's getting there. I'm a little bit... I can't tell if there's something wrong with the front end here. Or if I'm just like comparing it too much to my reference, because I'm not trying to make the reference exactly. I'm mostly just pulling inspiration from it. So the fact that this is obviously a little bit more stocky in terms of like the length, and it's not got quite the right grill and everything, but I think that's probably okay because it looks a little bit more cartoony this way. It looks a little bit more original, I guess you could say. I'm curious to see what this looks like in game now. With the outline and everything. Do I want to use purple here? No, I don't want to do that. I could use this darker one, maybe? Will this work? I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I think I'll just keep it the gray that it was. Okay, let's see what this looks like in game. Bam. What did I make this? Did I make this 72? There we go. I'm very curious to see how this looks. I think it's worth putting aside for a minute. You can check it out in game. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Can you put some Kentucky Fried Chicken in the game? I'm really hungry right now. KFC does sound good. I haven't I haven't had that in a while. A windshield viper. All right, let's see. That looks pretty good, actually. Not the spin attack, though. The spin attack has to be changed. Definitely want to add some fancy animations to this as well. I think this is looking fine, honestly. I need to do a little bit more detail on the tires, I think. Just a little bit more detail on the tires and then it'll be fine. Honestly, I don't know. I wonder if I'm going to be able to, like, animate the tires. I don't know if I'm going to be able to animate the tires, but maybe I don't need to. I want to change something real quick in this script as well. Create an update facing method here. Update facing, and then we're going to do the same thing in the charge. Update facing. Okay, so that should prevent the case where it's like charging backwards. Drift instead of spin would be cooler. Yeah, I need to figure out, I don't know how I'm going to reliably create a drift with the tools that I have. But I could see, because like he could get stuck on terrain and I'd have to introduce pathfinding and all that stuff. Somebody else suggested just do like the hydraulic, like up and down, you know? Which I think would be funny. Yeah, this is shaping up pretty good. I just need to get rid of that spin attack. I also need to... You know what I'm going to do, actually? I wonder if I could bump this up even more. This back piece here. And then maybe introduce an outline for it so it looks like it's elevated some more. I think that looks good. Yeah, I think that looks good. I mean, this mostly is going to be obscured by the spider sitting in there, but I think that's yeah, I think that's great. Honestly, don't tell anyone, but I think I might try this. Move this, shift this all up again by 1 pixel. Does that look better? Does that look better shifted up by 1 pixel? Oh, you know what I need to do? You know, it looks awkward. Well, let's see. I think I need to do that. I can't tell though if that looks better. Let's see what that looks like. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to commit what I have. In your course, I like the component workflow where you create and save a component. Then when you generate a script, it automatically places it in the same location as the component itself. Yeah. Yeah, that's very nice. How are you able to change the sprite and have it change in-game? That's just default Godot behavior. So I have, this is my A sprite file. So this is like the A sprite project file. But then when I do Control-Shift-Alt-S, that's an export, which exports a PNG of it. And as long as it's overwriting a file, Godot will automatically detect that change and just plop it into the game for me. I think that looks good. I'm actually very happy with how that turned out. Yeah. Have you looked at the Asprite Wizard plugin? You can configure it to automatically re-import when the Asprite file changes. Yeah, I have heard of that. I don't know if I'd want that because I like having control over when the re-imports happen. So basically, whenever I export the PNG, that's when I expect the re-imports to happen. Because there's a lot of stuff in my Asprite file, like I have a lot of layers that are just garbage layers that are just reference or whatever. And I don't necessarily want that to be exported whenever I save that. I'm sure it's configurable, but I honestly don't have a problem with the workflow that I have currently. But that does sound handy for some workflows for sure. So component workflow, also called composition. Yes. Yeah, the composition workflow is what's covered in the course, and it's what I'm using here. I do use inheritance in a couple of places here as well, where it makes sense, but composition is far more common in Gunforged. Man, I'm really happy with how this boss is turning out. This is looking good. All right, maybe I should draw the spider a bit, or do I want to draw the spider? Probably should, because I want to start animating it. Ooh, why can't I hit? Oh, because he's dead. I killed him and he's still going because I'm not handling death. Are you ever thinking about changing or updating the base player sprite? Yeah, I may do a little bit of touch-ups to him. But I got other things to finish first. But it's not outside the realm of possibility. Okay, so that's looking good. So I need a quick 2-minute break, and then when I come back, I'll continue with the art, or maybe we'll get into some animations or something. Maybe I'll do like a, well, I'll try to draw a spider. We'll see how that works. The interesting thing about the animations and stuff is now that I've got the finalized piece of art, I actually need to go back and chop it up again and then layer all the parts inside of the game so that when the spider is sitting inside of the car, all of the layers are working properly, right? So like the door should be in front of the spider, and so should the windshield, but the spider needs to be in front of the back of the vehicle as well. So we're gonna actually be dissecting the art a little bit and getting all the layers working correctly. So I'll do that after my quick break, but before I go on the break, I want to mention that I've got my courses. They're linked down in the description below. I'm trying to make it as a full-time indie game developer, and so any little bit of financial help is greatly appreciated. But also like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Sign up for my email list at firebelly.com. Any and all little bits of help me, so any help is greatly appreciated. And yeah, I will see you all in 2 minutes when I come back from my little break, and we'll get right back into developing this boss. All right, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Killed the spider, but the car isn't out of gas. Yeah, that's funny. Should the back of the car be a little bit more stretched? It's possible. If I were trying to make a one-to-one sort of 1964 Chevy Impala, if I was trying to do that explicitly, then yeah, it probably should be more stretched. But let's just go ahead and stretch it out, and we'll see what it looks like. I don't want to stretch it. There's another consideration too, which is that an entity like this that is too oblong is going to have navigation problems in the level. And I don't really feel like adding support for oblong entities. That kind of does look better stretched, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. So I kind of have I have other technical considerations to make beyond just the art. So I kind of need to be careful about that, but maybe I will stretch it later if I'm feeling it. The boss, ooh. The boss doing or the car doing a final charge and crashing after the boss dies sounds fun. That does sound fun. That does sound fun indeed. Okay, there's a couple of things I want to update first before I get into the spider art, which is that I want to change this collision shape here. So I want that collision shape to better match, better match the car. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's better. So there's our collision shape. What does our character body collision shape look like? So this is the character body collision shape. That's probably okay. Yeah, I think that's probably all right. Okay. All right, I guess those are the only updates I wanted to make. All right, let's draw the spider now. Okay, let's get some of this organized. So let's do final, let's call this intermediate 1. Okay, let's group all of these together. New group. Car. Okay, so we've got everything just kind of grouped together in a car. Let's rename this to car, body, shape, experiment. We'll put that into the car as well. Okay, we'll lock the car now, at least for now. Because now I need to figure out, we can delete this. I said we can delete this. Oh, delete layer, okay. Couldn't find the delete option. Okay, so now that that is in place, we need the spider. All right, now the spider is going to be a little bit difficult. Why did I choose the most difficult things to draw? Let's take the car. I'm going to turn this. Oh, I can't turn the opacity down on the car there. Interesting. Guess we'll turn it down here then. Okay. All right, so our opacity has changed now. Let's call this spider. All right, let's flounder around and do this. So I kind of want, so let's do the head, and then let's do a body, kind of like this. So he's going to kind of sit. Maybe the head should be the other way. Spiders have, yeah, they have 2 body segments. So that's correct. And then if we do the legs here. So the legs are going to have to be relatively thick, actually. I'm thinking I might cheat a little bit. Just kind of duplicate the legs. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I want to animate the spider while he's driving as well. Can I add like big ol' eyes to him? So spiders have big eyes, right? Well, they've got like, so if I do like this and that, you know what? I already have, I was going to say I could give him sunglasses or something. But I already have a thing with sunglasses on. But we could do something like that. So the little black dots here are like the smaller eyes that spiders have, you know? So we do something like that, and then we probably need fangs. So I'm actually gonna just, I kind of have the shape of the spider correct now. So this probably needs to be elongated actually, instead of being a perfect circle. So there's the spider. So we need like, what are those things called when the spider has fangs, but it's also got like those, there's a special name for those like extra leg-like things in front of its mouth. What are they called? They're called, For some reason, I think they start with a P. It's fun to struggle with difficult things. It'll be worth it when the spider is done. Yeah. Big multi-eyes. Yeah, I think it's kind of what I'm going for here. Which is the course that covers composition. Both of them cover composition, but the Survivors style course is the one that goes really deep into composition. The puzzle course is for C#. Excuse me. 1 second. Sorry about that. The C# course uses a little bit of composition, but that's more focused on just like C#, and the game is simpler in a lot of ways. So if you're looking for a game that covers a lot of systems that use composition, the Survivors course is the one that you want to get. Really cool. Thank you. Yeah. Pedipalps. That's it. That's the word. Thank you, Eric. I knew it started with a P. See? I got it. Is it going to have a head wobble like spiders jamming to some tunes? Yeah, I want to animate the spider. This is going to be, oh my gosh. I'm pouring my heart and soul into this boss. Y'all better like it. I'm just kidding. I'm being dramatic. So there's that. Okay. So I'm actually very happy with how this is looking. So the idea is that this is a cutout animation. So the spider, so I'll just take these legs here. So I'll have each of these as individual pieces. So like this body can go under, you know, and those individual pieces are going to be animated independently. So I think I'm pretty happy with the shape here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline each of these. So this is more like a tarantula, I suppose you could say, because it's got really thick legs. That body shape is relatively... I think that shape is probably better. Yeah, I think that looks better. That's just more rounded instead of circular. And then of course I'm going to add some shading and whatnot, but... Now the problem with doing outlines in black and having the eyes in black is that you can't tell which is the eye and which is the outline. But I actually think this is probably okay. Honestly, I could probably get away with making the eyes purple or something, actually. Or could I make the body purple? Maybe if I made the body purple, then I can use this dark gray color that I've been using, which is distinct from the black. Well, the spider might be too purple. I feel like it could work though. Let's try it. Let's try the purple spider first. I feel like it's going to be relatively easy now to add some shading as well. Actually, maybe I might even make his body even lighter. Purple lowrider spider. And the reason I'm making his body lighter is because now I have more colors I can do shading with. Well, I'm gonna have to play with this one as well, but that looks fine. It looks fine. Nothing terribly impressive, but I think that with everything going on, the spider doesn't need to be that detailed. Even with just like really basic shading like that, like the spider already looks fine. Like if you're going to be able to tell pretty easily that this is a spider. I don't like this little stray pixel here. But I don't know what to do about that. That looks better. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Now this, I'm going to color this up like so, because his head's going to be sitting on the top, and so there needs to be some kind of shadow, you know? And then there will be a shadow down here as well. Okay, so we've got a bunch of spider parts. Committing to buying the game just on this boss effort alone, thank you. I'd say make the eyes a dark blue and the body the old color, personally. Like a blue so dark it's almost black. I don't think... I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that there's going to be enough contrast with the color palette that I have. Going to hop on a work meeting, be back in a bit. If you're still streaming, all right. I'll be here for a little bit longer. You may already be gone, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to create a new group in here. We'll see how the color works with the car as well, because it's all about how does it work with the car. If it's not gonna look good in the car, then I'll change the colors. But I think the shape that I have is decent here. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut this and create a new piece here. So now I've got the head, and the reason is now I can put the head on top of the body, you know, and kind of see how that looks. So I've got the head. We're going to rename this to body. Let's go ahead and do a new one. Let's do leg. Let's just do leg 1, I guess. And we'll take this, boom, paste it onto leg 1. Let's lock all those, and then this, we need to create a new leg 2. Okay, so yeah. So we got the body. So now just to show kind of what I'm talking about. So the way it's going to work in game is that he'll be like a little cutout animation. Like so. And then we'll get the leg 2, leg 1. And then these will be animated as well. And then I'll just like duplicate those a bunch. So I'll like duplicate this leg and like rotate it. You know, put it behind him in the game like so. He looks like a little, like a fat slob spider. That's hilarious. Anyway. So yeah, so now that I've got the spider here, let's turn the car back on. And we need to open this up. Turn this up to 100% again. And so now this is the part where I need to like cut up the car into distinct parts as well, so that the spider can sit in here like so. But for the sake of comedy, I'm gonna export this as is and see what it looks like in game. And we can kind of get a feel for like how the colors are working and how the boss is looking. Hello, Garlic, welcome, welcome. Oh, I see the color palette you're using. Yeah, that makes purple make a lot more sense. Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. It's just I don't have a good enough color range. There's the spider, yeah. So he looks kind of awkward like that, but once he's nestled into the car, and he looks like he's sitting in it, I think that it's gonna look fine. That's the reason I didn't spend a whole lot of time on his kind of detail and legs and whatnot, is because he's gonna be obscured somewhat by the vehicle. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. All right, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, which means that the stream is going to be ending, but let's see if we can cut up the car. See if I can cut up the car and get it into the pieces that it needs to be in, so that in perhaps a future stream, I can cover the process of animating it in the engine. So that's going to be what I'm going to do. Firstly, I'm going to commit what I have. I think frequent commits, especially when you're working on something as complex as this with a lot of parts, is very useful, because, at least for me, it gives me the confidence. Now, if I'm committing this here, now I've got that locked in stone, and so I can go ahead and start cutting up my art, and if I make an egregious error, I can recover from it, right? So frequent commits are a good idea, in my opinion, when you're working on stuff like this. Okay, so we've got the final of the car. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to create a new group, and I'm going to create this, new group. And I'm going to call this car parts. So we'll keep the final intact. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this final copy, put it in car parts, and then I'm going to say, call that final, and then I'm going to lock all these things. Okay. So this final, so what do I need to do? I think, okay, so what I probably want to do is I want to basically take everything here and here. Oops. So I'm going to basically take everything from the, well, maybe it makes sense to do this actually. So I'm going to take all these pixels here. Oh, sorry, a little bit of discomfort here. Hello, Game Dev Doggy. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Oh, did I miss a piece? Yeah, maybe I should add those pieces there. Okay, so I'm going to take all that. I'm going to add a new layer here. I'm going to call this front and paste it. So now I've got that piece as its own piece, right? Final, yeah, so this piece. So we've got our front. I'm going to lock that. And I think the next major piece that I need is the windshield. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab everything that could be related to the windshield here. And actually, I might, you know what I might do? I might just grab all this here. So if I grab that part, now I can do this as front top. Or I'll just rename this the top, that's fine. So now this is what we're left with. And I'm not gonna divvy it up anymore. The reason I cut it up into these pieces is, so now, I don't know how I'm gonna show this. I can show it in Engine, I suppose, but so these pieces here, so the spider is going to sit on top of this here. So it's going to be rendering on top of the seat essentially. And then this panel is going to render on top of the spider. So it looks like he's inside of the vehicle. And then this piece is also going to render on top of the spider so that it looks like he's, behind the windshield. Now that I'm thinking about it though, I could actually probably merge these things. Oops, did I merge the wrong thing? I did merge the wrong thing. I can merge these things down. So now I'm left with a front piece, which is this. So that's going to render on top of the spider. And then the back piece, I could probably, maybe I should just move this to the front as well, just for consistency's sake. So here's my front, and then this is my back. So the spider is going to render on top of this chunk, and then this is going to render on top of the spider. And hopefully with those two things like that, it's going to look great. But we'll see. So now that we've got the spider, I wonder if I could just go ahead and drag the spider in here. Yeah, there it goes. So this is how it's going to look in the engine now, where the spider's got this. Now I probably want to, what I'll probably want to do is take like the leg here, like one of the legs, and drape it over the front. Oh, I guess that's not going to work unless, yeah. So something like that, so it looks like his leg's hanging out. This is essentially what's going to end up looking like in the engine. But now the tricky part comes in. I need to export these things. So I actually think this should be fine. So if I go to File, Scripts, GASPI, Export Layers, Layer Groups, Layer Name. I'm going to get rid of this Layer Groups here. Just use the layer name. Export Format, Group Separator, Export Scale. Only visible layers, export as sprite sheet. We're not going to trim it just for ease of use. Go ahead and save the sprite at the end. All right, let's see. So that's going to run a batch operation to export all of those individual layers as pieces. And we're going to see how badly that messed up. Let's go to assets here. Yeah, so this ended up exporting a lot more than I wanted it to, which is kind of what I was afraid of. So I'm going to delete those. And I got to figure out why that happened. Oh, because these are all visible in here. So I just need to make sure that everything's invisible that I don't want to have rendered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I should have six things that are going to be rendered for me. Okay. Okay, there's 6. Back. So we've got the back, we've got the front, we've got the body of the spider, head, leg 1, leg 2. All right. I think we're good. I think we are good. Now, maybe we're not good, actually. Okay, hold on. It's a little bit finicky, but we're going to get it. So I have to do this in 2 operations. So I want to export this. I don't want to trim the vehicle so that I can maintain all my positions and everything. Okay, that's 2 layers. Okay, so now I'm going to... Let's, can I... I'm going to assign a color to that just so that I'm aware that this is the folder I need to use for exports. Okay. Okay, so now the spider will make all those visible. File, scripts, export layers. Get rid of that layer groups. We do want to trim this one this time and export. Okay. Okay, so now the legs are trimmed so that the canvas size is only as wide and as tall as the leg itself. Same for this, but then with the body of the car, this is like the full canvas size. And the reason I did that is because now what I can do is I don't have to worry about positioning them correctly. I can just slap them in with the same offset and it'll work. So I'm going to create a new node 2D. And I'm going to say, just call this one visuals, I suppose. I'm actually going to change this hierarchy up a little bit. Okay. Cool. So now what I can do is I'm going to put the front.png there and see how I don't have to change any of the offsets or anything because it's the same. It's the same. Oh, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's the same dimensions and offset and everything. And then I'm going to create. Well, let's copy this. Copy properties. Create a new sprite 2D underneath that. We're going to call this one back. We're going to paste those properties. And then I can drag the back on the back of that. Boom. Okay, so now we've put back together the car. And now I can do the spider. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to add another node 2D. And I'm just going to put that in between those two things and call it spider. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm making the nodes rather granular in terms of the hierarchy. So that I can animate these more effectively. So the spider, let's go ahead and add a sprite 2D. We're going to do head. Okay, and then I'll just duplicate that. We'll do leg 1, leg 2, and body. Okay, I'm just putting the pivot offset somewhere where it makes sense for animation purposes. So I'm kind of imagining like where's the neck connected to the head. And so right there seems about right. And so that way when I rotate it, it rotates around that pivot point, right? So there's the head. The body, so the head needs to be the last thing. Okay, and then the body needs to be the first thing probably. And then we got the legs here. So same deal. So for the body, I'm gonna try to think of a way, I think basically in the center it makes sense for the rotation. So I'll do that. Then I can take this head and put it like right there. And then for the left leg here, the offset needs to be sort of at the root of the leg. So right there. We'll just drag that into a sensible position. And then same for this one. Okay. So now I can take this whole spider, put him there. Now the thing is, this leg, I want that to hang out of the front. And so I need to figure out how I want to do that. I can do one, but that's going to mess up a bunch of Y sorting and whatnot. So I may need to do something hacky where I like put the leg here instead. But it'll be worth it. So yeah, you can see why I didn't put a whole lot of detail into the spider, because a lot of his body is just obscured by the seat. And even if I wanted to, I could move him back a little bit in the seat, which I may actually do. But in order to be sensible here, so put him like that maybe. And I don't even need to, like the head can be moved up as well. Like that, just so it's more visible. There we go. That's basically how the lowrider spider is going to look. And so now that I've got all these pieces, I can individually animate those things. I'll probably want to add, let's just go ahead and do this. So if I duplicate this, I'm going to say right leg 1 here. This needs to be behind everything. And then I can also flip it. So I could do a flip H. And maybe rotate it 90 degrees. Like this. And just kind of like have that leg hanging back there, which I can animate, you know what I mean? Actually, I probably don't want to flip it, huh? Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to have it this scale. That's what I want. I want the scale to be changed. So now I can do something like that. See? So it's, you know, he's not going to have 8 legs. I don't have, that's the thing. It's like, you can't be dogmatic about this. Like spiders have 8 legs. I know that, but there's not enough room to put 8 legs in there. And so I think what's more important is just conveying the fact that he's a spider rather than making like making it dogmatically anatomically correct. This is why, you know, like cartoons, they draw their characters with like 3 fingers. Anyway. Hello, Alex Sir Weaver. It's going great. How are you doing? This is bonkers. I love it. Yeah, I'm digging it too. I think this is a very entertaining boss. And once the animations are in place. Oh, he's stuck. Oh, I've got a bunch of debugger errors. Did I accidentally delete something? Oh, Sprite 2D. Yeah, this is called front now. Actually, let's just make it the hit flash group component, I guess. Or the visuals node, generally speaking. Okay, let's try that. Does Godot really have really good sprite compositing? I would be worried about fractional pixel seams between parts of the car. In my experience, as long as you're animating them as a whole, it should be fine. But of course, a way that you can also fix that is just give yourself like an extra pixel to cover any seams, you know? But I think it'll be fine. I mean, we're about to see it, so he's going to rotate. Yeah, so he's rotating. I don't see any seams. I think as long as you rotate it as a unit, it should be fine. Oh, the other thing I guess that helps is that those sprites are all part of this canvas group node, so they're all kind of rendered together and then rotated as a unit. So that may be what's helping me out too here, but yeah, I'm not sure. Spiders have 8 legs, but oh my gosh, spiders have 8 legs. Let's not be too pragmatic about it. Like a spider driving a lowrider is pragmatic anyway. I mean, this is kind of the things like I have to remind myself of, because sometimes I get so hung up on like a detail like, oh, like this spider doesn't have 8 legs, but then, you know, it's ridiculous, like you said, because I'm making a spider driving a lowrider, you know, reminiscent of a 1964 Chevy Impala. It's like, you kind of like, I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but it's like you get so like narrowly focused on a detail being wrong, you kind of lose the broader picture, which is that the detail probably doesn't matter, right? Looks great, thank you, yeah. I'm happy with it. Should make the head hang over the windshield a little. Yeah, I could do that. This is where it gets kind of iffy though, because like I said, I want this leg, this left leg here, to hang out over the front, but now it's not grouped with the rest of the spider body, which probably will be fine, but that does kind of mess up the hierarchy a little bit, where if I wanted to like hide the spider for some reason, oh, now all of a sudden I have to do something with this leg, because in order to get the ordering, the rendering order correct, I had to move it outside the tree where the spider is. And I would have to do the same for the head. So if I moved the head out in front like this, that does look better. So maybe I should just abandon this idea that I can have all of the spider parts underneath the same node, because if I want to have that and then this left leg hanging out as well, then I've already like messed up the hierarchy. So maybe I should just abandon the hierarchy. And just kind of situate everything the way it's supposed to be. That might be the way that I have to do it. But that does look better with the head hanging out. At least 2 of those legs need to be operating the pedals. Yeah, exactly. 2 of those legs on the steering wheel, 2 of those legs on the pedal, and I've got 4 legs visible, so there we go. I guess I've accidentally moved this leg too far out. There we go. I like seeing the whole process of you making a boss that's looking good. Thank you, yeah. I think it would have been fun to make like one of those boss videos in, or like do an abridged version of making this boss, but this boss is taking forever too. Also, those particles are wrong. I think I can fix that though. I googled lowrider spider and had fun results. First 2 are your streams, and third is Spider-Man gets lowrider GTA San Andreas. That's hilarious. I'm surprised that My streams are coming up on the Google search when you Google that. That's funny. This is looking nice, thank you. Look at him. Look at him go. Boom. Oh my gosh, when this is animated, this is gonna be unreal. I think I will need to separate the tires from the body as well, because I want to do like the hydraulic up and down bouncing when he's shooting his bullets, you know? Obviously that spin to win move is not gonna work. I also need to make art for the little spiders that are coming from the ceiling. And then I'm gonna need to actually test him out in a real version of the game, because he's supposed to be the last boss before you beat the dungeon, and so I want him to be relatively difficult. And I don't know if as he stands he's difficult enough. Yeah, there's still, I mean, we made really good progress on the stream here, but there's still a lot of work to do for sure. I gotta do sound effects. That's the one thing. I can't show sound effect development on stream because it's just kind of annoying to do. So I have to still do all of that for all these features that I'm developing. One of these days I'm gonna have to sit down and just spend hours putting together sound effects. That's looking good. I'm so terrible at this style of game, but it's so much fun to watch them being made. Yeah, that's good though. He looks pretty easy as of now, yeah. Yeah, I think I just need to tweak some numbers. I still need to, yeah, I gotta do a bunch of stuff. I'd love to watch a sound effect, or I'd watch a sound effects stream as a musician and sound design guy. Yeah, I'd have to figure out how to do it. I probably wouldn't have like background music or anything. I'd just have to keep it quiet and so you can hear the sound effects. I genuinely think that you develop pretty fast. Maybe it's because I'm still a junior, but it's mind-boggling to me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's never fast enough, right? There's always stuff to do. Mostly it's just experience though. Like I pretty much know what I'm doing in terms of Godot and how to put things together. And so I don't spend a whole lot of time developing something, figuring out it doesn't work, and then changing direction, you know? So most of that's just experience. Explosion of bullets when he crashes into a surface. Yeah, I could add that for sure. That would add a lot of difficulty, I think. I need to get Lowrider and Spider somewhere. Well, I have the sound effects library, which I think contains engine sounds I can use, tire squeals, and I think that's basically it, honestly. I think I can pretty much get away with just those sound effects for the boss. And just as long as I apply them well, I think it's gonna work out great. Okay, I'm gonna commit what I have, integrate. All right, that's going to be it for the stream today though. So I wanna thank you all for watching. Thank you for your suggestions. Thanks for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. Again, for anyone watching right now or anyone watching the VOD, I've got Udemy courses in the description below if you want to learn how to make a game in the Godot engine and support me financially as I try to make it as a full-time indie game developer. That would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider picking one of those up. But if you don't want to financially support for whatever reason, liking the video, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, signing up for my email list at firebelly.com, those are all great free ways of supporting me. Any little bit helps, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you again, everyone, for watching, and thanks again to Snup Bill for the super chat earlier in the stream. And I will I'll catch you all in the next stream. All right, have a good day, everyone.